Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here. Look, you're going to want to buckle up because we have a really fantastic breakdown lined up for you. Right now, as we speak, there are two massive stories unfolding for the US on the international stage, and we're going to unpack exactly what you need to know. Both of these events put Americans squarely in the global spotlight, but they're happening in vastly different environments. So today we're kind of exploring this fascinating dual arena theme. Because on one hand, you've got the notoriously quiet, closed-door, super high-stakes diplomatic tables over in Switzerland. And then, completely flipping the script, on the other hand, we have the incredibly loud, high-energy pitches of the FIFA World Cup. I mean, it's wild, right? These are two completely different global arenas, yet today, they're the two main stages where major US narratives are just playing out for the whole world to see. Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. The Swiss peace talks and the search for a broader deal. Right now, American and Iranian officials are heading to Switzerland, and their main mission here? It's basically to take an existing temporary agreement and see if they can forge it into a much broader permanent peace deal. Now, this is an incredibly complex process, obviously, and the eyes of the whole international community are totally fixed on how it's going to unfold. But the absolutely crucial thing here is knowing who is actually sitting at the table. So, representing the United States, we have U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff. And representing Iran, we've got Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. These are the guys expected to be directly in the thick of these discussions, basically carrying the heavy responsibility of trying to turn that temporary framework into a lasting resolution. And the primary goal of these sit-downs is to directly address the recent tensions and the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. I mean, these talks are just happening out of nowhere, right? They're a direct response to the really heightened friction that's defined the region lately. So this is a truly critical moment for diplomacy to step in and try to chart a different course after all those recent conflicts. Which brings us to part 2, global ripple effects, and why this actually matters to us. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down the real-world impact. Because you might be wondering, hey, why should I care about some closed-door meetings happening thousands of miles away? Well, it's because the global ripple effects here are absolutely massive. The outcomes of these talks, they don't just stay in that room in Switzerland. They carry this immense weight that touches almost every corner of the globe. First off, a successful outcome could significantly reduce those Middle East tensions we were just talking about. Second, and this is a big one that affects literally everyone, these talks could actually help stabilize global oil markets. And third, the ultimate prize, the whole shebang of these negotiations, could be a longer-term agreement on security and nuclear issues. So yeah, that triad right there, that is exactly why this is one of the biggest stories in the US today. All right, let's shift gears completely. Part 3, the World Cup knockout stage and the US national team advancing. So let's transition away from the heavy weight of geopolitics and head straight into the roaring stadiums of international sports. We are moving from those quiet rooms in Switzerland to the other major national news story of the day, the World Cup. 2-0. That is the final score that has literally the entire country talking right now. In what was just an absolutely thrilling match, the U.S. national team defeated Australia 2-0. Just a massive victory on literally one of the biggest athletic stages in the world. And you know what that 2-0 victory means, right? It means the U.S. officially advances to the knockout stage. Cementing their spot in the next round of the tournament has instantly made this a huge sports story across the country today. It's just a fantastic moment of immense national pride, and it sets us up for some incredibly high-stakes competition moving forward. So that brings us to our final thought for today's Explainer. We just looked at Americans on the global stage in two wildly different ways, haven't we? From the intense, quiet negotiations over in Switzerland, trying to stabilize global security and markets, all the way to the high-energy, super high-stakes athletic battles of the World Cup knockout stage. So here's the question I want to leave you with. How will these distinct global outcomes shape our future? It's a pretty fascinating question to chew on as we watch both of these massive stories continue to unfold. Thank you so much for joining me for this Explainer, and hey, keep your eyes on both of these global arenas.